curious what you've seen in terms of networking between the different companies that go through a particular TechStars session.
Enormous. Actually, that's one thing I usually talk about. Often I have slides when I do my little intro, and those are some of the slides I use, and I forgot to talk about the tremendous sort of power of the network of companies that have now gone through this. There's now 70 companies that have been through the program 3 or 4 weeks. In New York, there's an annual reunion. I think 60% of the companies are showing up. Right, so they'll be able to come to a place where the new companies will have companies that are 1, 2, 3, and 4 years ahead of them, and who work with the same board members and the same investors and have all those experiences. It's a really powerful effect. The companies that go through in one cohort together, our experiences, many of them will be friends for life. It's almost like people describe it as a fraternity or whatever, where you just bond with those people. You think it's going to be competitive, and you're looking for the same investors. And it doesn't turn out that way. There's plenty of money for the companies, so they get very cooperative. They help each other. They promote each other. The other dynamic, because of the community, the whole community is promoting this. So it's an amazing, powerful network that I think creates a network for life for the companies going through.
I have one thing that we finally started seeing this year. We had a couple other companies have exits in the last few years, and in this most recent Boulder class, there were 2 instances of TechStars alums investing in other TechStars companies, and that was really cool.
But before investing, mentoring, right? So that led to investing.
So I have a multi-part question. There's your intro to TechStars.
Are you trying to get 3 books? No, I'm just teasing you, Brian.
Your intro to how TechStars started intrigued me because it reminded me, believe it or not, of a movie that's out, that's been out this fall called Wait for Super Bowl, which is a documentary about the state of the education system in the country. And one of the big parts of that movie is the fact that all these students are trying desperately to compete with each other to get into these charter schools, and there's 1,000 students and only 10 positions open, something like that. So you're 300 applicants versus 10 acceptances.
Now 800.
So that's even, that even furthers the question, begs the question. Two things. One, to what degree is your initial vetting process the blessing that actually causes the success for the company? In other words, if you had picked many of the 800 applicants and you put them through a 3-month ringer, wouldn't 70% of them still, so there's that. The more important question is, what can you do for the 700 or 800 or whatever that don't get picked? And I know it's a problem of scale, because you can't just keep adding more mentors and adding more people. But have you thought about how you help the community at large so that all the applications are outstanding? Yeah, you throw the book
Yeah, so you'd expect, the first part of the thing is more straightforward. You'd expect a pretty high success rate if we're any good at what we're doing, which is growing companies. But I think it's an acceleration of those companies too that leads to the other dynamics like the mentorship that gets sustained and the annual investment. What do you do with, we now see 2,000 unique applications a year. 1,300 of them are sort of ridiculous, right? They don't seem like they'll go anywhere, but you never know. But there's 700 that are pretty interesting, right, on some level. And what happens to all those companies? I mentioned earlier there's been about 100 programs that have contacted us and said we want to do what you're doing. And I think Brad and I have gone very out of our way to try to support those people because there's sort of a bigger thing, right? Which is rather than viewing it as competitive, right? We're from Boulder, so we're going to naturally view it as karmic. We want to help those programs if we think there's a greater calling, which is that if communities can use this model and create sustained mentorship, that ultimately is good for the country, it's good for the entrepreneurs. I think it's good for the ecosystem and the investors, which that's us. So
to provide very visible leadership that causes other people to try to do it. And I think that's part of the message of the movie, right? There isn't a single, Superman isn't going to show up and solve everything. What has to happen is a bunch of people have to inspire a bunch more people who are going to inspire a bunch more people. And I think we're trying really hard to play that role. I mean, this is an example of it, just being accessible, being responsive. And we screw up too, right? But I think that dynamic is something that if we can transmit that, you were great today. Brian said it on the pitches this morning, gave great feedback to the companies. Great entrepreneurs do that. Why? What are you getting from it? Fuck, I don't know, get a brownie or something, right? A cup of coffee, right? You did it because it feels good, it's fun, it's interesting, it's helpful. And so we're trying to continue to encourage that dynamic. And it's interesting, we had, in the very first year, there was a lot of people who said, well, what do the mentors get out of this? We have, a list of qualitative things. And of the first batch of mentors, there were one or two that are like, well, I feel like you're using me and I'm not getting economic benefit from this, which is wrong because they're getting
one or two of seven.
Yeah, they're getting a chance to invest early. They're whatever. Kind of our response was, hey, if you don't want to play, don't play. Like